You kind of have to do it
Yeah.
a bit before.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
take a sec.
Oh, play clapping sound effects.
Play
I need
clapping
to unmute
sounds.
Rhythm so I can
Bruh,
actually.
next presidential debate gonna be like just muting the
It's just-
candidates and like playing clapping noises.
Yeah. Kind of
Someone
loud.
dipped.
Guys, you guys ready
Okay.
for this? You guys ready for this?
Wait, so how many people are here? 1, 2, 3,
lot.
4, 5, 6,
21
7, 8,
people.
9, 10. So we can
22
expect
people.
at least 21 people to vote.
22
Yes.
people are here. Oh, wait, no, Rhythm. Never mind.
I mean, last time 30-something people voted, but we never know.
Alright, we can find out how many people are here by setting a really high user limit. It's 22 people, 21 if you don't include Rhythm. Still a lot of people. Yep.
Oh. Yay.
Hi.
Someone keeps
I-
joining and leaving.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to permissions at everyone. You cannot actually join the channel. We will have to move you in if you choose to disconnect. So, yeah, because we don't want people joining and leaving.
Okay, let's just start
Just to
it.
annoy 'em.
This is
Yeah.
it's too complicated.
Yeah,
this is a
it's-
debate
yeah.
on a Discord
Yeah.
server for a school. It doesn't have to be this.
Alright. Yeah,
Okay. I see. I see.
Okay.
Okay, so the thing that I think is the most unsatisfactory is that the rules are not very rigid. They're kind of just up to people to decide. It's just like, oh yeah, I've decided that I'm gonna ban this person, I'm gonna kick this person. There's no rules explicitly saying that you can or can't do something. It's just up to like common sense, which works for some situations, but not for all, because common sense it's subjective. So you can't always get what like the truth of what is supposed to be allowed and what is not. There's no real basis for it. So okay.
we should set timers.
Okay.
So I agree with Roy, but what we need to do is we need to refine the rules, not just leave it up for anybody to decide. Like, to somebody, common sense could just be posting NSFW in general because their brain is wacko. So we need to actually have a set of rules that people can decide upon if they want to follow, but then they have to at least follow these sort of guidelines.
All right,
I don't know if that makes sense, but
that's fair. That's fair. Ronan, you are up. Would you like to add,
Okay.
or would you like to start your
So-
own thing?
I'm gonna say that I agree with what everyone has said so far, but I also want to add on to this by saying that the admins kind of just do whatever they want. They don't all follow the same. They don't all follow the same rules. It seems like they all kind of tend to just do what they want. Like some of them are lax and some of them are strict. And what I would like to have in the server is guidelines for the admins themselves.
Can I say something?
Yes, of course.
Okay, because the rules aren't so much as rules for the people to follow, they're rules for the admins to follow of like what is worth like a ban or like some kind of punishment, you know?
Yeah.
So it's not just about like controlling the people, it's more about controlling what's within the admin's power.
All right, if everybody has said what they wanted to say, we can move on. For number 2, we have what would you propose to do about these unsatisfactory points? Now, I know everyone has said things like add more rules and stuff like that. Is there anything else that you would like to do about that?
could I go?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what I would do is I would try to get other people's suggestions, like how the current admins have been doing, like, hey, we want an anime channel. So they go ahead, create an anime channel or a Nintendo channel. So I would want to have more community feedback like that.
All right, that is fair. Anyone else to add on to this second question?
I feel like because sometimes you can't always get like some admin to always notice if someone's breaking the rules or doing something that's like really bad. So I propose that we like at least work with some bots or something. So like, and not really for just like posting something and just making them banned for something that's like similar to whatever or not entirely meant to be something, but like if someone says, for example, some kind of racial slur, you'd instantly just ban or kick or warn or whatever, right? So the admins don't have to go through that, and the people don't have to necessarily like see that kind of stuff. It's instant, it's fast. There's nothing like there's no need to have constant
All
surveillance.
right, thank you. That is your time. Ronan, anything else to add on to that, or would you like to move on?
Not really. They all kind of covered everything, so I would like to move on.
All right, thank you. For the third question, it's kind of similar. Are written rules important, or are the satisfying the members establishing mutual limits, kind of like what we've been doing now? Which one is better?
May I go?
Yes.
All right. So what I personally kind of like the quote unquote lawless of the server. Like it allows freedom for everybody, but then just like America, we need some sort of guidelines so that people just don't. Some people's common sense could be different than others, so
Yes.
we need people to have a sort of guideline that is not too like restricting, so that people can actually live freely but not be restricted.
All right.
I would like to add on to that by just saying that while like some degree of well, I don't know how to put it, like let's just say anarchy. It isn't really anarchy, but it's just having freedom, you know? That's good. This isn't necessarily a place where a lot of freedom is a good thing, because while this is for fun because it's a Discord server, that doesn't necessarily make it so that we should just let everybody do whatever they want, you know?
All right. Anything else to add on to that, Roy? Or
Well, I don't really think that the rules should be like a complete. I don't want the rules to be extremely specific, but I feel like they should be more specific than they are now, because having just a single rule that applies to everything, just like use your common sense, that's a bit much. But maybe by doing a slightly bit more of specification, like no racial slurs or whatever, no posting and not safe for work content, so you kind of like get more vague stuff. It's still like vague stuff, but not like, but still people get the idea what is like allowed and what is not, and have an idea of what that common sense is really supposed to mean, instead of just a full list of like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't, you know.
all right. Thank you, Roy.
I would like to add on.
Yes.
Yeah, so as the server's growing, we're almost hitting around, what was it? 100?
170 members.
Yeah, so we're almost there, right? And that's a big number. That's at least, like, in IMS, there's about 1,000 people, including staff. So that's a lot of people, right? So we need to have, as the server grows, we need to have a better way of communicating and not like arguing. Like, I think there's a way too many arguments going on in the server that could be avoided.
Thank you,
So,
Ian.
yeah.
Calvin, do you have any questions to add on to this, as you have mentioned to me?
Yes, speaking of arguments, I've noticed that most of the candidates are in mostly agreement about current policies and things that they would like to change in the server, but that's not what debate is for. We're supposed to find out what's different so people can choose to vote for whoever they feel best represents them. So I'm going to ask a more controversial question. There's been lots of arguing this morning and in recent events about the definition of spam. What do you candidates consider to be spam?
Ooh, this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so
All right, I suppose we'll have Ian be starting now, and then we'll go into Ronan.
Yeah.
I mean, you go into Roy and Ronan, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
all right, so I have a relatively smaller server than this server, right? And no one likes spam. It's annoying and it takes up space. So what I would think, like sending 5 messages at in a row isn't spam, or like even 10. It's if it's blocking the person, like if it's blocking other people's like sight of the conversation, that's what I classify as spam. Or if people are getting annoyed by it, that's what I classify as spam. If it's just like 3 lines of hi, then like just like one word hi, then that's not really spam because it's not blocking other people's point of view.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Roy.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily, because spam, like, it kind of is like blocking people's conversations, but I wouldn't necessarily say that like interrupting a conversation like once or twice is really that big of a deal, but actively just like putting a whole bunch of one non-relevant thing into a chat, for example, just like a whole bunch of images in like the general chat. If it's just like a single image or like a few videos that like kind of block the conversation, it's like but fine, they can scroll up, whatever. But like if it's like putting like a single message that takes like a whole bunch of space, it's like a ton of just lines of just nothing, just blocking space, I would consider that as spam.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
Your time is up. Ronan.
What spam is to me is, for me, it isn't necessarily something that's like super long, but for me, it's something where they just happen to do it over and over again. And I'm not saying like in a row, not necessarily in a row, but like if they just do it over and over again, maybe at different points of time, specifically to interrupt conversations, I just find that very disruptive, and I count that as spam, in my opinion.
Thank you, Ronan. If anybody has nothing else to add, yes, you want to add something?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should discuss the way that we're supposed to stop spam, or like the plan to deal with it, or something.
No, I mean,
those are the rules.
I mean, I guess
was in the rules section. We can get to that
what
later.
Do you think,
after
what do you think a suitable punishment for spamming is? Repeated offenses of spamming and quantity of spamming. Like putting the entire Communist Manifesto in chat is considerably worse than typing "what's happening" 5 times.
Yeah,
not because the Communist Manifesto is bad, just because it's so long.
On how to prevent spam, and what would you do as a punishment? Would you do? There's muting, kicking, and banning, and how about warnings? Everything like that. Like, would you be a light moderator, or would you be kind of like me, a heavier moderator? Ian?
Yeah, so I like Kolin. Like, she was doing a good job of dealing with like people that are breaking the rules. She warns them, and then if they continue, she talks to her other admins, and then pushes out a punishment like kicking or muting.
Anything to add on?
So I would probably go like that.
Roy?
Well, so what I would think is, I feel like spam is just overall just taking space in the chat if it's like not relevant. So, I feel like it's kind of up to the people who are already in the chat to decide if it's relevant. So if it starts once, then fine, probably not a big deal. But if it continues and the people who are in the chat are like, it's easy to see that they're irritated by that kind of stuff, then I feel like there should be some kind of temporary mute, but not necessarily a ban or kick unless offenses continue after that point.
All right, thank you. Ronan?
So I actually have like a set thing that we would follow. I would do is
I actually have an idea here. Since this is indeed a debate, you know, people are allowed to interject. So if you like what Ronan is saying here, you know, you're free to argue about it. Ronan, go ahead.
Okay. I guess I'll keep unmuted then. 3
warnings equal a 15-minute mute. 2 mutes equal a kick. And if you continue to cause problems after the kick, you get a 1-day ban.
Anybody have any objections to that? To the policy?
I mean, what qualifies as like what action do they have to do to receive a warning?
A warning, it's just if they are disrupting conversation or if they are breaking the rules and posting something NSFW, they would receive a warning. And
so it's the same punishment for anything, or
no, because depending on the caliber of it, we could use our discretion and then, or we could put set guidelines for it. We could level it up so they would, let's say, automatically get muted or automatically get kicked.
Ian, you have anything on that?
Well, I mean, so like Roy said, what classifies as a warning? Like, it's just like a thing in chat saying like, "Hey, I noticed you've been spamming, so could you please stop?" Right? Is that what you mean by a warning, or is it like a Discord bot warning that keeps it logged?
Wait, hold up, guys. Roy moved to general for some reason.
Oh, okay. I accidentally got. Sorry.
Okay.
Lamau.
He's back. Okay.
Okay. Sorry, what was that?
All right. So as Roy was saying, what classifies as a warning? Like, is it just a message like saying, "Hey, you've been spamming, so could you please stop?" And if you continue spamming, then we'll have to mute you. Or is it like something from a Discord bot that keeps it logged? Or how will you like keep track of all the warnings and stuff?
All right, thank you for that. Oh, if anybody has anything to add on, I'll allow maybe another 20 seconds on this topic.
I mean, okay, so I was thinking like you could probably use a combination of like bots and like discretion of admins, because like for example, if they're spamming just like a lot and it's something that's easy to automate, then sure, you can totally get a bot to instantly warn or mute them. But otherwise, you can probably, for like some other situations, it's up to admin discretion. So things that are less easy to automate should probably not be controlled by bots.
And in order to keep track of warns, we should have a specific channel to put down warns and bans and stuff. And if possible, we should make it public so people can know who has been annoying and such. Just
Does
to add on
anybody-
that extra little kick.
I don't really agree with that, because then it's kind of like just putting someone's criminal record out into the public. That's like, I'm not entirely sure how fair that is, but
All right,
It's
this is what
technically
I
legal,
think should happen
so.
for the
All right,
punishment.
we can start to move on. Ian, you get your
Oh.
last word.
So you should have a reasonable answer. Like, if you're gonna ban someone, you can't just put the reason as you're not using common sense. You have to put like the exact reason why they were banned. So
Alright.
would that also be in the warnings?
yeah, that would make sense.
Thank you, Ian. So for my maybe a more controversial question is, we've had situations like Ray and Johnny and
yes.
Pavan, and incidents like those where people tend to be split on like what is good, what is not, and also debating the number one rule, common sense. So how would you each handle these? And I would encourage comments about how other people would handle them.
Which one situation? Like any
well, in a situation
in
like this
general?
where a
Alright.
person is like maybe being a little toxic or maybe being off topic, etc. Just how would
Alright.
you handle those?
I
types
feel
of
like
comments?
I would only worry about it if other people were also annoyed by it. If they're just doing that and it's not really annoying anyone else, like everyone else is just okay with it, then I don't think it's much of a big deal. If someone's just being like mildly toxic or like whatever, maybe doing a few things, and it's not really making anyone uncomfortable, then I don't think it's really worth trying to stop them.
I
yeah.
agree with
Well-
Roy. Like how if it's like one person that's getting annoyed by it, I'm not necessarily gonna do anything about it because it's just one person, and if everybody else is fine
mean,
with it, then
Yeah,
they
like,
kind
I
of see a big
disagree
deal.
with that because each person matters. It's a Discord server. You're supposed to have fun in a Discord server. You shouldn't be angry
Well,
or
if
mad
it's
at the end of the
just that
day.
one person, they
Yeah.
can just block that person so they don't have to see their messages. It's that simple.
And also, if it's one person, then most likely it's not. They're probably not doing something that bad, and it's just one person being a butt and being annoyed for no reason.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, if
at
it's
the
something
end
that-
of the day, everyone should have a good time. Isn't that the reason of a Discord server? It's supposed to be able to communicate to people like in a
I know, but,
not
like, the-
I mean, but
thing
that's
is,
the
if it's
reason why
only
you
one
can block
person
people.
and
That's
we're,
why you can
um,
just stop messages from being seen.
Yeah, and also if it's only one person, we're stopping somebody from doing something that isn't bothering anybody else, then pleasing that one person is probably like
Yeah, you don't have
outweighing
to, like,
stopping them from
if it's
doing
not-
it,
You don't
you
have
know?
to mute that person. You could just remind the victim in this case that they can always mute Like they
I
can
mean,
always
I-
block the person.
I don't even think that toxicity in general should really be considered like an offense or worth like muting or maybe a warning, but not necessarily a ban or a kick.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, I mean, it's people just insulting each other. It happens all the time. Like, if anything, they can just either block that person, but if it gets like really serious and goes into like the area where it's not just like being offensive towards one person, but instead being offensive to like many people, a lot of people aren't comfortable with it, then I would say that that's probably worth some kind of bigger punishment.
All right,
Yeah,
so
and
Roy,
also-
I would
yeah,
like
Roy
to-
got a lot of time there, so I'm gonna allow some of the other candidates.
Also to
They could have interrupted me, but okay.
I would,
also to handle the like one-on-one people fighting, we should have a specific channel that we can tell people to move to if they're arguing, so it doesn't disturb general or whatever channel they're
I
arguing.
honestly think they could just take it to DMs. You don't need to create a whole separate channel. Because then other people can get involved, and then that could also be
happy thing. Some people find entertainment in watching other people argue. So
All right, so that
yeah,
leads
and
to-
you know, like the anime
that
debate
can
today.
lead
Called
into-
out.
That can lead into another question, which
So,
is,
you know-
what is the definition of general?
So general, in my opinion, it's just if it's not like a heavily like, let's say Jamie just wanted to post a picture of like a stick man he drew in general because he wanted to show it to the world fast and doesn't want to. He's lazy to go to the art and drawing channel. You could just post it in general, and like even Daniel, he's posting it in general. It's just one picture. It's not like to discuss if it's good or not. It's just to show off what you've done. It's not like a thing to get angry about.
Yeah.
But if it turns
I feel
into
like
like an anime channel, if general people are just spamming anime pictures, not spamming, just like posting anime
All right,
pictures like
thank you,
crazy.
Ian. Thanks for your time.
Then it
okay,
wouldn't
so
be a general
I'm going to
channel.
interject on that. Let's say that if you're starting a conversation in general about something that's that has a specific channel for it, even if it
Wait, did he
He's
get
muted.
muted? Why did he mute himself?
Sorry, my mom came into my room. But
Oh,
yes. So sorry. But yeah, so like if they're starting a whole new conversation about something that there's another channel for, even if it's like just for something super quick, I feel that should be in that specific channel. But if it has something to do with like what's happening in general already, it should stay there. And also for Jamie's initial question, which is like, what is general? I think it is I think it's like just chill talking, not necessarily like too toxic. And if it gets toxic, we can put a stop to it or direct them to another channel.
All right, thank you, Ronan.
mean,
We're gonna let Roy
We have-
have the rest of the time.
I feel like general is a bit more of just like, you know, it's general, right? It's mainly just a conversation that can like go anywhere, right? So like yesterday we had that one conversation about rice, and then it went to religion, and then it went to rice again, and then okay, conversations fluctuate, they go all over the place, and just because the conversation might switch topics to like something that already has its own channel, it can easily swap back. So unless the intention is to only talk about that one particular subject, or the conversation starts talking about that one subject, then they should probably be fine staying in general.
All right, thank you, Roy. Calvin, you have anything to add on to that? You've only asked one question this entire time, so if you have
Yeah, no. We have gotten some questions in the chat. Ironically, Vadim pinged me when asked a question, how should ping rules work? Some people get annoyed when they're pinged even once, and some people, like, are fine with pings. Like me, I'm fine if I get pinged, because usually someone's trying to get my attention.
Yeah,
Alright.
so
So we're gonna be starting to wrap up this debate now. So this is gonna be the last question, and if any admins here want to add something on, then you are obviously free to unmute and say something, contribute to the debate. Anyways, let's answer this question, Ian.
right, in my opinion, if you get pinged, it has to be something relevant to the person. So like if I wanted to show, let's say, Calvin this thing I've been working on, then like, and he knows that I've been working on it, or I just want to show it to him, I would ping him and put the thing in to see like how he would respond to it. But then if it's something irrelevant, just like haha, get wrecked, or something like that in general, then that's a waste of time. And you shouldn't be pinged for that. So you should only ping if it's relevant to the person.
Well, Ian, here's the thing. You were talking about making sure that everyone's happy. If like 5 people think it's funny to ping Alex, should we be allowed to ping Alex? Like 5 people being happy and 1 person being unhappy?
Well, if it's irrelevant to the person, then you shouldn't get.
Yeah, but it's always relevant because Alex hates being pinged, so it's always relevant.
I mean,
as long as he's not fully angry at it and he's okay of getting pinged, but if he's not okay, then he can tell you guys to stop, and you guys should stop because he said stop.
I feel like pinging overall should be just like fine, like nothing really wrong with it, except for when it comes to mass pingery. And my definition of mass pingery is like pinging a lot of people at once for like no good reason, or pinging like one person repeatedly several times over just for like no reason. And both of those make like no sense because, you know, at that point it's just annoying. So I feel like that would probably be worth like a mute, or maybe just like a warning and then a mute, because at that, like, that's just annoying. And if it's mass pingery, then probably an instant mute and deleting the message. Like if it's pinging a lot of people at once, then that would probably, I think that would make sense. But if it's just pinging one person for like something that's kind of I don't really care.
Thank you, Roy.
Here, I have something to actually add on to that.
Yes, go ahead.
If it's a mass ping, because mass pinging, if first things first, isn't technically, we can't even do it. But if somebody's doing it obviously to try and be annoying, then yes, I think it should be an automatic mute. But let's say if it's somebody new to the server who like tried to, let's say, ping everyone for Among Us, then I think they should just we should just give them.
Well, no, that's what the Among Us role is.
I know, but if they're new to the server, then them trying to ping everybody, I feel like it isn't.
I mean, this is why we kind of need to specify in the rules, because if they check it, then they'll already know. You know, it's not like if they're new that they're just exempt from the rules.
All right, thank you, Roy. You've had enough time. Let's let Ian talk.
All right, this goes back to having a light guideline, because in most major servers, when you join the server, the staff expect you to participate as if you've already read the rules.
All right,
they expect you to oblige with the rules, even though you didn't read it.
So, do you agree with that?
I agree of just directly muting somebody if they're just trying to be annoying.
All right,
but if they didn't know, then maybe give them a little break.
10 seconds for interjections. Anyone?
I'm just saying that these people are now spamming me with pings.
What about the case where one person decided to individually ping every single person?
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying.
I feel like that's a ban. That's an instant ban. I would feel like.
I would say a kick, but okay.
Because if they're doing that, that means they know how Discord works, and that means they know that people don't like being pinged.
It depends on how many people they ping. If they ping like 5, then I don't really care. But if they ping like everyone, definitely instant ban.
I feel like that's also a fairly long ban. Like, let's say like maybe a month.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Any admins want to add on to that, or are we gonna wrap this up?
I say we wrap it up.
Interjections, disagreements on opinions, or we can go into the 5th question then, which is any closing comments that you want to say to the voters. Ian.
Ooh, to the voters.
All right, so do whatever. I don't care if you don't vote for me. Just do whatever that you think would make the server better. Personally, I think all the candidates are good choices. So do whatever you think is great for the server.
Roy.
Oh, well, I feel like, okay, so to all the voters out there, just think about what path you want this server to take, because there's differences here when it comes to moderation, and if you're planning on like this server being a bit more lax with moderation, or planning on like, because the reason why we have this election is for representation of the people, and so you better vote, because if you don't, you're not going to be represented, and the admins aren't going to reflect what you want in the server. So vote right.
Thank you,
guys. Eli needs to get dragged back into debate.
Eli?
I thought that he was just in
left tracking back.
Oh, I thought he was just in music because he wanted to listen to music.
All right. Ronan, you get the final word on this. Any closing comments to the voters?
One thing that I will do if I become admin is I will make more emojis other than just trumpets and faces.
That's
Okay.
what you want to say?
Yes,
That's
that
what
are
the
actually
suggestions
useful and
channel
will
is
be
for,
able
isn't
to
it?
be used in just normal conversations.
That is what the suggestions channel is
I mean, we did
for.
hold an emoji
Feedback
contest.
channel.
Yeah,
That
we did.
is what the feedback channel is for. Also, I feel it's relevant to note that I have muted the feedback channel, so it's more of like a facade. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't worry.
Alright.
I still check the feedback channel when you guys post it.
Kelvin, Kolin,
Yes.
Alex, anything else, or are we done here?
I think we're done here.
Alright, thank you so
Alright.
much. This
When's the
video,
election?
I'm aiming for the election to end this week, so Sunday.
No, we hold the election. All votes will be cast on November 3rd.
November 3rd.
Is that an
Why
election
November
joke?
3rd?
Is that an
No,
election
that's
day joke?
literally the day of the presidential election. It's only
yeah.
right.
But then we have to wait for like 2 weeks.
But
Yeah,
but
no,
like
I'm not
votes will
doing
be
that.
tallied day.
I'm not
Alright, fine.
waiting for 2
All
weeks.
votes are due by November 3rd.
That's not really how that
No.
works. Admin team will
Ah.
decide on that.
Alright, fine.
Alright, so this video will go up. I will timestamp some of the quote-unquote highlights, even though this was...
Highlights.
Even though
Wait,
this
is
was
it going to be public
a
on
lot of
YouTube?
agreeing with each other. It is going to be public.
Bro.
Yeah. That's all there is. So thanks for coming, everybody. Good luck to all the candidates, and I will end the
Yay.
recording now.